We go right here. Let's just go back with the last several hours. We just gonna go back with the last several hours. Let's go. 1 M flare, 2 M flares, 3 M flares, 4 M flares. This is a small M flare right here. 5 M flares, 6 M flares, 7 M flares. That's just the 21st going into the 22nd, my people. That's just the 21st going into the 22nd. Not to mention C flares. Look, C flares. Keeping keeping the electrons, keeping the atom open up like a lotus flower. Not to mention that right there. This is the race against the sun, my people. Red October. This is the race against the sun. They know what's happening. They know what's taking place. They understand the cycles of the sun. And we have forgotten. So therefore, it's easy for people to get programmed to believe that there is a war in the heaven and not the war in your brain. You will believe that your government is getting ready to pull Project Blue Beam, a fake alien invasion. You will believe that artificial intelligence is literally some robot or some cyborg and not the human species that or bloodline that literally performs some of the most horrific genocidal acts in order to create your economic system, your political system, your education system, your medical system, and your judicial system, as well as your political system. You would literally, you literally are being fooled. We are being played. Seriously. Artificial intelligence is anything that is artificial that is not natural to the planet, not natural to the sun, that appears to have intelligence. Pause. Okay, here we go, my people. The Magneto's pause. The Magneto's pause. 7/22/24. Magneto's pause. This is the last 24 hours. The last 24 hours. So I want you to look at this, my people. Look at the energy that's coming from the daytime side. The energy, this is piled up energy that's on top of the dome. The dome is here. This is the dome, stretches from the North Pole to the South Pole, that protects us from ultraviolet light, harmful solar radiation. Look at the pile that's on there. And then look at all of this solar radiation on the backside of the planet. That Russia satellite is low orbit with this right here. These are 2 satellites that are orbiting the planet. That Russian satellite is right there with them. Now, isn't that something? What a coincidence. They're going to use the activities with the sun. Like I told you, they're going to use the activities with the sun in order for them to create chaos on the planet. They're going to use these activities with the sun. They're going to use the false narrative that these countries hate each other, that they're all against each other. They're going to use these false narratives to exercise a multiple of false flags to get people condition people to accept an entity that's been here for a long time. A long time. This is what this is all about. This is all about the sun people, and the entity that we, the sun people, have placed here to put us through the ultimate test. Can you get water will water allow oil to separate it? Can you get trees and plants to dislike each other? See, that was what this test was all about. And how did you pass it? Pause. Okay, my people, here we go. Solar wind. Like I said, this is the last 24 hours. Solar wind. 7/21 going to 7/22. The last 24 hours. So current time going back. The last 24 hours. Look at all of this energy right here. Look at the colors. Wow, look at what it did to the dome. Look at what it did. These arrows represent solar wind. These arrows represent solar wind. So the sun would be over here. Excuse my handwriting. The sun would be over here. The one that they tell us about. It'd be over here. And these arrows represents the particles that are coming off the sun. Some should hit the dome. Some should hit Earth and then travel out into space. However, when you go over here and you look at Earth and you look at the backside of Earth, whether it's in the sky, directly behind us, or underneath our fucking asses, it doesn't make a bit of a difference. Whatever is back there is sending out equal amount of energy of our sun. It is sending out the same equally amount of energy, because the satellites are registering this as solar wind. So, solar particles. Look at these arrows in reverse back into the planet. Look at these arrows in reverse back into the planet. These arrows represents cosmic particles, solar wind, ultraviolet light, gamma particles, alpha particles. It is what it is. This is what it represents. Not to mention, when you look at this, right, look at how the backside of the planet is red. You see that? Look at the backside of the planet is red, and you see over here is blue. Red and blue equals what? Purple. Purple. Look at that. Look at that. What is pushing these cosmic particles? What is sending cosmic particles back into the planet? What is doing that? Huh? Can somebody answer that for me? Pause.
There is also a breaking headline tonight involving Russia. The Pentagon just confirming reports that Russia likely launched what's called a counter-space weapon capable of attacking and possibly destroying U.S. satellites. It's now in the same orbit as a U.S. government satellite. So let's get right to ABC's Martha Raddatz on what this means. Martha, what have you learned?
David, this has been a significant concern for the Pentagon. It was last Thursday that Russia launched this satellite into low Earth orbit, a satellite that the Pentagon does believe is capable of attacking other satellites in low Earth orbit. This video from Russia's military appearing to show that launch. While there's no indication that Russia plans on attacking other satellites, and it is not the first time Russia has done this, when asked if the Russian counter-space weapon posed a threat to U.S. satellites, a Pentagon spokesman said it's a counter-space weapon in the same orbit as a U.S. government satellite. The deputy U.S. ambassador to the UN is calling this launch troubling. David?
Troubling indeed. You'll continue to track it for us, Martha. Thank you. There is also a breaking headline.
2024, the race against the sun.